it's potentially concerning if you have what are they gonna go for? Visage. There we go. Yeah, whew, this is this is a much different game from the first game. The only reason the Visage didn't have much impact was because he was getting caught in these combos and he just didn't have a BKB or even
10
enough
seconds
HP to
remaining.
really survive.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, agreed. And then, so final pick, it feels like HellRaisers, they've got a lot of boxes to tick, right? Being Visage on lane shouldn't be too difficult, but they need something that actually, like, just brings it all together, has, like, a strong stun, for example. In the carry role, is there anything that really, like, steps out to you right now for HellRaisers? As they will have the final pick, of course, but, like, it feels as if forZe's draft is a lot more rounded right now.
10
Hmm.
seconds remaining.
Hmm. They
5
need.
seconds remaining.
It, I think they just need a hard carry, someone that they can turtle behind and enable with their saves. So I want to say I'm just gonna say Medusa as like a concept, but that type of hero where it's hard to kill in lane, you can let it sit there, a click exist, and it's not gonna have too much pressure on it. But again, they do have the last pick, so they're gonna be able to see what this for's hero's pick is first.
And forZe, they chose to ban out the Husker. Of course,
10
HellRaisers, they were
seconds
worried about the
remaining.
Necrophos, which suggests that HellRaisers are kind of playing into what you were
5
suggesting. Something that's down the lane,
seconds
some
remaining.
tanky, something maybe in the strength category we see that can hold its own, and something that would be countered by
Radiant
Necro
team
later on in the
pick.
game. The Gyro for forZe, this was kind of expected there, right? Like, you've got an Io sitting here, like, who's left in the
Yeah,
pool? It's pretty
there we
cut
go.
and dry.
Yeah, it's very classic. It's just, but at least, but Fours won the last. Could
Lost the
have won
last
the
game,
last
though.
game. It could have won the
But
last
could have,
game
yeah.
if they weren't against this combo, right? They'd played the laning phase better. They moved the
10
tempo,
seconds
had the better
remaining.
like group up. It was when they got to the high ground, they got, I guess,
5
outsmarted,
seconds
outpositioned. And
remaining.
that's why they
hmm
lost. So when they don't have these type of spells on Hellraisers now, they need to perform better in laning phase. Otherwise, they're just gonna have the same issue arise where they have this Visage, have this gyrocopter running at you.
Do you feel Hellraisers has a little edge in the tri-lane on tri-lane scenario though? Because they got the Wyvern Jakiro. I mean, ET is great in that scenario as well, but it's the amount of slows and debilitation that Hellraisers offers.
I think this will just it really depends on what route Hellraisers want to go with their carry. They it's just awkward because you need someone who can scale, and the issue is the heroes that kill Visage don't kill Gyro, so it's kind of a gray area now. They need to decide what how they want to deal and what hero they're going to deal with. Like they already know Void Spirits can have a really good time mid. He already had like a lot more CS than the Visage last game, so that's fine. It's all about how can they enable this to bad and off lane, which again might be hard with the IO Gyro lane, and they're going to be against a Puck ET, which is again quite scary. So it's I honestly kind of like the idea of a Medusa or someone who can just become your. I know you're going to run at us, but if you don't win this game by 35 minutes, you're never going to siege our high ground.
The awkward part is the presence of the Medusa earlier than that, right? Like Hellraisers, because they had a formidable high grind hold, that was what enabled it. Well, Medusa wouldn't be
You may
offering
now
that.
select
Bristleback,
your hero.
however, present a
Oh,
lot earlier, and this explains the Necro ban a lot more.
we're gonna have a fight on our hands here.
I wouldn't have it any other way. This is CIS. You got a reps from start to finish with a little bit of blood being spilled, and the Bristleback definitely offers that immediate ramp up out of the lanes. Kind of sitting here wondering actually, like, who got the better of the draft. Like, is this a gotcha Bristleback pick?
Uh, Bristleback does beat Visage, so that is to be clear. I wanna like with the birds during in the game, like Visage never really wants to go on a Bristleback. So in fairness, there is that potential where
10 seconds remaining.
it's going to be awkward if the Bristleback is frontlining and this Void Spirit's running around catching off the backlines. It is going to be incredibly hard to kill this Bristleback if he gets the items. The issue is once you get past these kind of like sloppier engagements that you see in the 20-25 minute mark, if this game goes late, where is your carry? You don't really have that super scaling core on Hellraisers compared to fours. The pot can always like transition into physical damage. You got Visage will buy AC and Solar Crest and all these big items, and of course you've got a Gyro classic core hero. So I think HellRaisers they have a nice draft to be able to deal with what forZe can bring in the 0 to 25-minute mark, but post 25, maybe 30 minutes when you transition from that mid to late game, there's kind of like a question mark for how does HellRaisers even approach a fight? How do they even provide that big explosive damage in the fight outside of maybe a curse and using your opponent against themselves?
Yeah, you can actually see like for a lot of their picks is fixated around how do we protect one individual, right? So I'd imagine Hellraiser is
And it's a
perfect.
bristleback.
Yes, like he should in theory never die. It's just like it's gonna be like that classic Naga 2 tanky scenario. It's like the Naga lives, but everyone around her is dead. So it's
Just
like,
in like
how do you protect everyone else while the bristleback is going balls against the wall? And I guess there's maybe an argument like if you jump first, you kind of use this Void Spirit to attack the back line, and then you just like plow through Bristle. That might work, but it is really dependent on winning these lanes pretty
yeah,
convincingly.
for sure, for sure. And again, like we already know the Void Spirit, he's gonna have a good time mid. Bristleback, naturally quite a good laner, but forZe's draft, look at it. It's like the same elements as before. They know you can execute with it. It's just the high ground that they couldn't do, but Hellraisers don't have that high ground defense.
No, and I, I feel like if you get forced in a 2-1-2 lane scenarios, you feel a bit frustrated because preferably you want the bristleback to be left alone, get early XP, and then rotate towards it. But if you get the 2-1-2 format, it's a little bit slow, and we've seen how underwhelming 1-2 can usually be for bristles in these kind of static lanes.
Yeah, but I think for Hellraisers it's about just they can play their lanes, get the items, but for
30
them it's
seconds to
can
battle.
we punish fours, make them make the wrong moves, make them play together, and then outwit them in the team fights. Use our saves, utilize the fact that we can prolong a fight, and then through that prolonging, we can get through the coil, get through the control. Because again, fours they've got a draft that doesn't have control. The first game they used a tiny as their primary source. This game they've upped it a little bit with the puck, and then you've got a somewhat defensive a bit of control with the ET with the sleep, but it's not pure control. So fours might suffer where if Hellraisers do leave laning phase and crank it up and run at them, how do they stop the tempo?
That's very well looking at. I mean, the battle runes will be 2 apiece. And yeah, it definitely looks to me like the Void Spirit is going to have to pop off pretty hard in this game. And then for fours, it is pretty cut and dry, but preferably you're looking towards this part to be your kind of mid-game tempo controller. And then just let Gyro farm wherever, Puck sets up kills, you just rotate, etc. That's
Yeah,
actually
this
the
is
other part of it, right? It's like the mobility factor around the map is heavily in favor of fours. Whereas,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. And yeah, because the only mobile hero in Hellraisers is the Void Spirit, so the rest of them are quite clunky. And then you see fours, you got the IO and then the puck. So yeah.
Starting wave's not looking too bad though, as Bristleback is getting those early CS without any sort of contest to him. Probably cool spamming down the wave to ensure it, and you can really see the pull through shenanigans, so the Hellraisers ensure that these first few creep waves aren't really contested for them. Gyro, it's not the worst hero to last it under tower, but not the highest
Yeah,
damage
he's got
either.
the yeah, he can just pull it behind the tower, and the HP he loses from tanking the creeps, the I'll just bring back anyway. So
Big differences in the mid lane at the moment. Like we highlighted this earlier in the previous game, was that we saw this Void Spirit building a ridiculous lead early on against the Visage. Didn't lead
he's
to anything ridiculous though. Right, we
yeah,
didn't see
it led
kills or
to,
picks.
but that was due to the aggression that the Force had and their ability to just 5-man to mitigate the Void Spirit. I think this game's a little bit different because Hellraisers are gonna want to be able to fight as well. So you're gonna feel this Void Spirit in the mid lane a little bit more.
And like we said, that has to be the case. He has to be the active one. Nice snipe on the core top. So Gyro's without his means to get a few new items for a while. Should stem away some aggression because obviously you get those early Wraith bans and all of a sudden you're running forward with the Gyro, just actually never letting up with the pressure. All in all, a quiet start, which I guess is not too surprising when you look at the heroes on both sides. Unless they were to commit to tri lanes, you don't really expect to see many kills in the lane phase, right?
No, laning normally. Oh, Not sorry, I just muted myself accidentally. Laning is quite passive, where the kills will come from being in the wrong position or just over aggression,
Oh, like
especially in this
that.
type of game, like Bristleback, for example.
A little bit out of position, gets punished for it immediately, and that was the crucial moment, right? Because once he gets level 3, that doesn't happen so easily due to the quills being 2 points. But level 1 quills is almost laughable damage.
Like, ET does slap. I know you've got the Jakira there to reduce the attack speed with his spells, but ET, he hits like a truck, especially when you got a stacked camp to the side. He's going to get the bonus damage from the creeps, the lane creeps, and both heroes. Again, with the ages ago they changed it to ET, it's a lot less damage from creeps, but if you get that spirit connecting on both those heroes, you do a nice amount of damage.
It is a hero that has proven itself a little bit ridiculous at times, too free hitting other supports at certain stages in the game. And now they have the XP advantage. You can see how they instantly exploit it to just pursue this down, and Nyx might scare away the quills. Instead, shoot. Uh-oh. Has he made a mistake here? They're going to use the sticks, but BZZ, if he gets hit one more time, it's going to go down, and the quills are there. The double kill for Nyx. The volatility of this lane is exposed, and that was pre-level 3. That wasn't even the extra quill damage yet.
Like, you can slap, but also you slap the back of a bristleback, and he's gonna quill your back. So, whew.
Yeah, ET's one of those odd posturing heroes, right? Where it's like, damn, he hits me hard, but the moment you turn around on him, you're like, ah.
The story of an ET
all.
is you punch him level 1, it's cool. You punch him level 2, it's cool. You punch him level 3, you forget that they also scale a little bit, and you're like, this is not so cool.
And then the person backing you up in that situation is a puck who's like, dude, where's my front line going? Why is my front line? Oh, no.
But that's literally because of this Jakiro. Because he reduced the attack speed of the ET, it means you can get that extra quill out, and he survives a little bit longer and gets the double kill. So in theory, it is a nice Jakiro pick into this lane. I do rate it.
Yeah, it screws with the puck well as well, because there was a minor buff for the Jakiro. Now the dual breath, well, I say minor, it's very good against blink heroes, right? Is the dual breath now instantly hits?
Yep, it doesn't have the little delay that it used to have.
Feels like it's a move to get those kind of silly things out of the game, right? We saw that with Clockwork. Jara had it a while ago with the Rocket Barrage. And Funnick, he's getting the Jara experience right now. Go for the TP out.
Poor
He'll be able to make it just in time.
Oh.
A little bit too close for comfort. And Vanscore yoinks the other rune. Now, getting some stacks set up on the side of HellRaisers, though. You can see that stack there. And, of course, you know, the ET was somewhat helping. So, occasionally, the HellRaisers could try and yoink some of those creeps away. That is indeed a rune that should not be left to mature, as it doesn't get bonus gold anymore.
It's just nice to leave it there. It's a power play. Come on.
We don't... No, you know what it is? It feels nicer that way. You don't need it right now, okay?
Yeah.
If it's like the difference between you getting an item. Oof,
No,
good.
but it's like it's a pseudo ward, because you know if someone takes it, someone's been in that area, you can maybe predict that a ward's been placed, because the support being there normally is for warding.
Yeah, I think you've over big brained this. Your brain is so big right now, it is cracked open your skull. Stop it. It's
That's fine. It means there's more room for the brain to grow.
Stop it. I think you're going to die if you keep this up.
I don't need no skull. I'll hold it in place with my bare hands.
Alright, soft brain. So K-Sani has got a haste rune. We might see the rotation pay off here as Wyvern is in the mid lane. It's tough though. Now that Visage has 6, those birds do cause a nuisance. There it comes. Jump in. Remnant was off the mark, and they all move forward with Simulate. Yipki trying to protect himself, but Wyvern gets the final hit. Says yoink and thank you very much.
Thank you for that was a really good solo kill from Gilga, actually. Coming in when the Visage just wasn't aware. Void Spirit, really good from Gilga. And that's why people call him the absolute unit that he is.
It doesn't happen without
clinical
him.
Solo moves. Yet no one else can do this in the game, but this guy, he finds the way to get those solo pickoffs on those mid laners as a position for Wyvern.
I mean, let's be honest, right? He sat there, he went, lol noob, you missed your skill. I have to do this for you. I don't want to take this kill from you because I'm a good support, but if you need someone to wipe your ass, I guess I'll just have to be the person, the nurse catering for you. So Void Spirit. Still, Void Spirit remains top of the net worth now, and he's starting to build a very noticeable lead. In the meantime, Abaddon does go down to the chase, as he's been kind of left to his own devices now. question of what is Gilga's priority here? Does he just want to make more and more stacks in the meantime and like let the Abaddon just have his own lane?
You can't, like, the Abaddon's not really having his own lane right now. He's got an Eye Gyro just kind of running at him, chasing him down. So if anything, the Wyvern's just trying to enable his Bristleback to come into the jungle, get some more farm, enable this Bristleback to be that tanky guy, that frontline damage, and then play from there. So it's more just trying to find value in other parts of the map than just trying to stem the bleeding in one little part.
You remember that part you were saying about like ET, where it's 1, 2, you feel good, you hit people. 3, you start to realize they scale as well. What's the story for level 4? Is it more the 3, but worse?
No, that's when you drop back, you start making stacks yourself to enable the rest of the team, and you play into your offlaner rather than trying to play your own game.
Yeah, so don't try and fight the level 5 Jakiro with no assistance. Got it. Well, hopefully it goes and does that now. You know, it's all about learning from your mistakes, right? Everyone makes mistakes, but it's how you improve. It's about how many times you get back up, and Gibkey's going to have to get back up again. Io here to try and assist, but it's a level 4 Io. There's no way. He does respawn the birds, but he might just feed one over now. They
Double dragon rotation, very good.
You know, I don't think it's the year of the dragons, but they are definitely powerful. A nuisance together for sure. You know, there's a lot of synergy between these two, right? You get the Winner's Curses into the Macropire, Ice Path setups. You have Splinter Blast as well. It's pretty ridiculous how much damage these two supports can put out.
Yeah, but that's about it for their control. You've just described their entire team fight. Thank you.
In the support comp, it's the double dragon power, you know. The 2-headed dragon and the wannabe dragon.
Just draft your 2 dragons for all your control, and that's all you need.
Come on, have you never looked at draft and wondered if the team is just theme drafting? Like team greens?
No, not at all. That sounds horrendous.
Well,
that's some gimmick that the casters get for free content and for free airtime because they get to say nothing else.
All right, that's why we get paid.
God.
And then Team Green doesn't get paid because they go out first in the tournament. Nyx, they're trying to get him out of this game, but the TP scare him away, and Vanscore, that's the wrong way. The gyro left the upper way. It's fine. He knows what's happening. Gyro's coming. Save the day. Because I didn't leave you behind, buddy. I didn't forget. I reckon there was some screaming in the VoIP there. It's like, please.
But I love when you do that long range tether. It's the how Io just kind of does like a 360 kind of. You see his balls moving. Oh, it's like help.
Where? Daddy's here. Don't worry, Io. You're safe. Meanwhile, Mama is dead. Why even found in the bot lane alone? They did use the Dream Call for it, but low cooldown for a lowly support kill. And Nyx getting decent XP, clearing these stacks, getting towards that pipe build, which is crucial in this game. So much of their damage for the first 20+ minutes is magical on the side of forZe.
Yeah, it's again, HellRaisers is all about how can they move from laning phase and try and be the aggressors, and they need the items to enable that. So it's going to continue, sit back, get one aura on all heroes, and then off we go. And by that, I mean actually just one aura on maybe the Abaddon.
It was like, not again. Not like this.
It's the same as last game, right? He's just trying to defend this tower as long as possible. You got the catapult wave coming in. He's being a bit of a nuisance. He gets in deep, uses the Arctic burn, so...
I think he would have survived that if he thread switched as well, actually. He was on int the whole time. That cooldown was not going to kill him. While that happens, though, double kill for Nyx. They were waiting. And that was unexpected.
Oh my, yeah, Nyx coming with a good rotation. Yeah, the Wyvern doesn't have treads. He has the mana boots, I believe, so... He's a dead man. Dead man for sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll blame that on the obs. The Pega. No, we love our obs. They look, guys, no hands, okay? Play-by-players don't get to say that online much. It's a nice change, and these odds are changing up very even now. As they were, I believe they were up over 2 for one side, but now it's slightly in favor of forZe.
Less than 2.
Yeah, it's what. Thank you for. I knew there was a reason I brought you in to to say the things I cannot.
Yeah, well, you were trying to say it used to be more than 2. Now it's less than 2. Take that as you wish. Do as you wish.
I mean, sometimes the best analysis isn't complicated. Okay.
It doesn't need to be, really. Overcomplicate it, people don't get it.
Exactly. And now movement in on the Gilga. This isn't overcomplicated. They just want to kill the Wyvern. However, it got messy and complicated pretty fast. BZZ's just gone. All right. You mentioned it. Use their own team against them.
It's the
Dragons
dragons!
trying to move away. And that's a 1-for-1 trace. Gilga finally goes down when they came around the back with that relay. But can they do more? KSI able to run away. Funnick just begging anyone to hit him right now. And right, it's straight away, you're seeing this kind of issue with catch for HellRaisers. But don't worry, it's slow, it's methodical, but they will find him.
Teams like this catch.
You know what the bonus about this is?
Awkward club.
You slow the gyro, you slow the IO. It's beautiful. 19
it's a 2-for-1
gone.
deal.
There might be more actually because forZe tried to protect them. Nah, they're gonna get it.
The
They're
sustain
like
coming out from HellRaisers, the lack of catch from forZe and the amount of sustain from HellRaisers. If forZe don't get the kill in that initial coil, HellRaisers are able to move around the fight and keep enabling these heroes, keep pushing them forward, and especially when you have this Bristleback who's such a prominent frontliner in the first 20-25 minutes of the game. It's quite easy for HellRaisers to, I think, start the fight and also prolong the fight. Starting the fight through that kind of defensive curse into Ninja Jakiro layering spells, and then the kind of false confidence that forZe might have going, they've used all their lockdown, we should run at them now. So it's really a battle of they need to take the fights in the correct position and be ready for it. They can't just kind of half-ass it. They can't just lob out a coil and go, let's fight, guys. You know, they have to be ready.
By the way, this Wyvern is full in FU mode. He's going for the Orchid. I don't think...
Yeah.
I don't think Wyvern even had upgraded boots.
This is what, if you play Core Wyvern, you go for the Orchid. And some position fours, I saw it in some of my games yesterday, they just want to rush these Orchids. And they play this 4, they farm out the lanes, and they just go for it.
It's not a bad idea, especially seeing as you can actually damage people in your Winter's Curse these days, so...
Exactly.
It's something people have been experimenting with. I remember teams were trying to really make this kind of right-click Wyvern work back when you had the old Drow aura, where you take the damage instead of the GPM. And now, with the changes, it's maybe even more tempting in some cases to take that damage talent.
Oh, look how sad the CT feels. He only had Tranquils, and he's trying to get a Vessel, but miles away from it right now.
It doesn't even feel good to build a Vessel in this game, though, because you're against the Abaddon. This feels like one of the big reasons that Vessels start to fall off in popularity, right? Is these Dispel offlaners. Winter's Curse, BZZ, he's just gone. The reload in to try and assist. Can they find anyone? Gilga might die. He buys a little bit of time. The Poshka gets it. No! 0.1 second left for the TP out, so both the dragons are down and dead. They did get rid of the fairy dragon. So all dragons, they're mythological. They're not real. They don't exist in this game. That's all you need to know. There's a lot of space for Bristle, though, as he's proven, right? And he's got this... I mean, he's actually starting to get his items up. Looks like he's going towards the Crimson next. Makes a lot of sense against that Visage and the Gyrocopter.
But it's the point in which you need to realize that these fights, for example, HellRaisers, sure, they're doing these weird plays where it's like, we can curse a park, kill the park with our dragon combo or whatever. But they need to... At some point, they're going to have to change it from just random spell usage to actually objective-based fights.
I'm not sure if Kickline could have made it away there. So looks like he will go down.
It was a good stun from the Visage.
Exactly. Everything seemed perfectly
and
timed
one by
there.
one they try and TP in, and yeah, it's...
And one by one they die.
Yep.
Many questions. But forZe quick to capitalize. They'll move across. They'll be able to take the tier 1 tower. And then they'll just back away swiftly.
Yeah, the Void Spirit had a little bit of... he thought he was tankier than he was, because he knows that the only time he dies is from the pot coil. And he thought that with the Yules, he'd be able to outlive the coil and then get away using his ultimate. But the bird stun from Zaj really well timed to keep him in place, and then, yeah, dying. So another free Roshan, I think, for forZe. Just like the last game.
The power of flight, as almost every member of forZe isn't even on the ground. And the jump in by KSI tries to yoink, and instead... This is what FEMA looked like. Goes down for the second time. Nyx is here trying to do anything. But the problem with Bristleback is you kind of have to force attention on you. Now the Winner's Curse fan score brought down in the blink of an eye. They finally find something, but the Dream Call to lock in Gilga. They're split through to try and slap the fight a little bit, but Nyx doesn't even feel it. Shrugs it off, and Poshka is being chased down by Chu in the meantime, and Nyx is out of mana, so he just needs to get out of dodge. And in the meantime, BZZ gets a little bit too close to the sun, gets burnt for it. The turnaround now. This is just back and forth. Who can go a little bit too far? And apparently both teams proving that they kind of underestimate how quickly they can kill each other.
I can understand why the Void Spirit was trying to make that play. It's if forZe get an Aegis here, they're able to control the map and then get themselves to that kind of 25-minute mark without having to have too much aggression coming out from HellRaisers. So I understand why he's trying to do this play, because it just makes the game so much easier for forZe, but it's just you shouldn't be in the position where you're trying to like YOLO get the Aegis from your opponent because just of a pick-off before. So again, a little bit of sloppy positioning and approach to defending objectives from HellRaisers, which is putting them in an awkward spot. And Gilga back at this bottom tier 1, his best friend.
Reinforcements have arrived.
I've seen this so many times.
Easy.
forZe trying to kill Gilga
Nap time.
underneath a tier 1. And then the Yules into the Aether. And it demolishes Puck, this combo, honestly. Void Spirit v Puck is very, very upsetting to play if you're the Puck.
Yeah, there's just no way to dodge the Aether Remnant at all. Especially when
You
it's just
can,
getting
like,
heals.
it's based on, I think someone said it, but it's like, based on tick rate of the server and pressing phase shift. If it syncs at the same time, you can dodge the Remnant. That's
Okay.
what I heard from
So
someone
lag.
who looked at it.
So basically,
The
Puck
opposite, but
gets
yes.
his... Yeah, but lag is involved in the other way, is what I'm saying. So basically,
Yeah.
a Puck can blame all their deaths on latency.
Ah, okay,
You
sure.
see? That's a classic
to some
excuse.
degree, okay. Very smart. We smart.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Tower taken pretty quickly. This is the thing about HellRaisers. When you have this Bristle at this stage in the game, assisted by the Abaddon, if you get on buildings, they're going to melt quickly.
They just, HellRaisers need to use this now, put the Bristle back in front, and then just go. Play as a 5. Play as this big unit. Do the death ball that forZe did in the last game, but punish them for the fact that you should be stronger.
I don't remember the last time we saw a Puck have such a bad game. He's just getting roughed up left, right, and center. Oh, he's just going to try and move away, but... Little slash through, gets the kill. Relo is going to drag the IO away in a few seconds. It doesn't even leave 19 here. I think you need to take him away, which means that Chu, guys, where's my allies? They're gone, bud. And don't worry, you're going to be gone
Ping,
too.
ping, ping. They know.
Just accept death.
But this is what HellRaisers draft is. It's this death ball. forZe, like, the Void Spirit is such a mobile hero that it punishes you when you're out of position. He's always gonna get the stun off. He's always gonna like lock you down in these awkward locations. And then when the Jakiro comes in or the Wyvern comes in, it's good. Obviously this time it was the Wyvern getting the pick off on the Puck first, but both scenarios play out. As long as they play in pairs, and then the rest of the team arrives after, then it's good for HellRaisers.
That's going to get rougher as well, because he's now got the Orchid complete. So it's an even bigger threat. It's an even bigger priority to eliminate straight away in these fights. And this is just, you know, a little Benny Hills moment as HellRaisers forces full attention down here and just immediately runs away. Smoke to get them out quicker, but the pursuit is on. They might be able to catch someone here. But they are at tier 1 tower here, so it's a little bit
Wyvern's
dangerous.
currently on the other side of the map trying to beeline it over.
I'll be there soon, guys. Just by 20. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
Maposhka's going to run to the right. Yeah, he's out of here. Kill me, lads. Don't kill my team.
Heck, lift timing, by the way.
Oh, 16. Very.
That many things hitting it. That's quite impressive. Very, very quick fingers. You know? Make someone very happy with those kind of speeds.
See ya.
Speed, pop quick out. The drums. It's not a drum of war they're banging. It's a drum of retreat as they get out quickly after taking the tier 1 tab before they can be punished.
Void Spirit actually going for a Radiance this game.
Yeah, he's had it queued up a while, which is like that's the rough part about the way they're having to play due to their draft, right? Is you don't get the opportunity to split push the map as much because you're moving as a unit in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I like the idea of Void Spirit trying to scale into more of a core and not going for all the control, because if he went for the control and relied on his Bristleback, again, later in the game, Bristleback falls off, yada, yada, yada. So the Void Spirit going for Radiance, trying to become more of a right-clicking core, for example, he can freely kill the IO, the ET, and even the Puck when he catches him in some of these scenarios. So yeah, I'm liking this iron build from Void Spirit. He's trying to continue scaling, trying to make sure his team has presence within the next 10, 15 minutes of the game.
I guess another one that we didn't quite highlight adaptation to the game really is the... Well, let's just watch Shoe Die for a moment. Or is it Gilga? Uh-oh. He's like, all right, reload you. See you later. So the thing I was going to highlight is in Gyro, as you can see, he went for the Diffu build. I'm assuming just to counter the Bristleback was the big reason, right?
Yeah, we've all watched True Sight. We've seen the Gyro Diffusal v Bristleback scenario.
Yeah, it's probably the only
That's...
situation where it really feels justified, I'd say. On
anytime there's a... No, I think Diffusal is a very good item on Gyro when there's a clear reason. For example, Bristleback, this is a very clear reason. We want to take away your mana and then you're kind of an irrelevant core. But I think soon the Bristleback, he's going to have AC complete and then eventually he's going to like BKB. So when it comes to the critical fights, it's going to fall off heavily. So
yeah, they
Gyro
haven't
going
been
for
able
more
to...
of an aggressive build.
Exactly. They haven't been able to fully capitalize on it, right? It's like, you know, you had saw that fight around Roche. They got Nyx down to half HP, and they're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And that was before we even had any big items. That was when they had a more definitive lead.
But HellRaisers is now making some aggressive moves. They don't have the curse from Gilga, so 1/3 of their lockdown on their team. So
10 seconds, and this is why forZe will give them a wide buff.
Okay, we're in the clear then.
Whew. Sweat off your brow. This is a good move from HellRaisers. They want to make sure they're in dominant positioning for the next Roche engagement, because it could spawn in about a minute.
They're setting themselves up for what is going to be one of their next win conditions or the next timings, which is get an Aegis and use this Aegis and go full Rambo.
And you can see the move from Cheer, right? It's like, okay, we probably have to surrender this one. They are a little bit stronger with these iron pickups at this stage. What we need to do is just get more gold, buy more time. And you can understand why they feel confident in that, because, you know, the high ground defense is decent. You've got the Gyrocopter, you've got the ET, the Park, all these heroes and these choke points where they thrive. So up on the high ground, they should feel relatively safe.
Choke points are only good if you can lock them down. So if the puck hits the coil, then amen. But otherwise, they'll easily be able to disperse from these areas.
I also love how BZC, he went for the damage talent on the puck. He's like, well, I'm going to be silenced anyway. I might as well just try and do damage.
Yeah, he's just preparing himself for the later portions of the game. But this is a good move from forZe, just making sure, just always trade. Like, both teams have controlled the opponent's jungle, so...
Looks like it'll be a relatively quick spawn for Roshan. Should be up in about 30 seconds. And HellRaisers, they'll probably stay in the neighborhood.
That's a nice pickup from the Gyro. He just put his Morbid Mask into backpack. Of course, he's about to come finish with Satanic. So he's going to have Satanic and then the Paladin Sword as well. It's going to be a lot of regen coming out, especially with the Eye pumping in as well. So
that's true. But on the other side,
potentially it's going to be a scary Gyro to try and kill.
Well, the thing I was going to say is on the other side, though, HellRaisers, they did get their hands on the infamous Titan Sliver.
Oh, and the Orb Destruction.
Wow.
This is naughty.
Wait, the Telescope is what... I mean, it's not the best theme for it. Puck doesn't mind it, but...
Yeah, the Telescope's there.
It's like, it could be better. It could be worse.
It's alright, but... Oh, this Orb and Paladin Sword is really good for this lineup right now.
Question is, what will HellRaisers get next? Trying to get a kill into ET, but maybe just focus on those neutral items we're thinking about at the moment. There's already a push on the bot lane to try and force them back, and Gilgar is waiting here. He wants to go for some cheeky sort of play. He knows there's a reload out opportunity. 19T taking a crap ton of damage. But they're not interested.
Just good positioning from the Eye, just making sure he's not in some like ludicrous location to get, for some reason, cursed. So yeah, just sitting really far back, playing off the ward he has on the high ground. So yeah.
Yeah, ensuring he always has the reload outplay, basically.
Yeah.
And the final item coming out for the side of forZe is going to be that Quickening Charm. Perfect item for the puck.
Oh yeah, they got 3 out of 4 items, which were like pretty solid for forZe. So.
But there we go. I was wondering if there was going to be another Orb of Destruction. Very good item for HellRaisers.
Faith restored. Or whatever, balance or whatever it is. I don't know the line. I don't know. I tried
balance
that.
has been restored.
No, but there's an Oracle line. There's an Oracle line.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm just gonna Google it. That's how you fix it, right? You just admit you're Googling it.
I thought you were gonna go with, like the Embers, balance in all things.
No. I was going for an Oracle voice line, but I play with voice lines muted, so I don't even know why I'm trying.
Yeah, as long as you do the Oracle voice, you probably don't even know what it sounds like though. You mute everything.
Faith. Oh yeah, Fate, of course. Yeah, Faith restored.
Okay.
There you go, nailed it.
Close enough.
We tried.
Yeah,
C minus for
I
effort.
expected you to have these muted as well, because like, I remember we tried to do some interviewing content where we had them like identify voice lines, but they're like, all players
Yeah.
like, we don't play with them one.
Yeah,
BZZ,
yeah.
he doesn't play the game at all. He just gets killed every time. You know, Gilga's just like there. He's like, I'm gonna build an orchid this game. He just does it at the park. He's like, this is for too many rolls of that crappy Pugna set when I want goods.
Oh, all that oppression. The oppression of the Pugna set.
It's built up for a long time. This creep wave won't last long in the bot lane as 19T is trying to force them back. He knows they're in the Roche pit. It's very obvious. And it looks like they are going to end up trading.
This is going to be potentially a free tower. Like,
It's
HellRaisers, they don't have the lockdown, the ability to really move across the map as quickly as forZe can. So right now, forZe are in the position to... this is...
I mean, the creep wave is gone for a moment, but they're hitting that.
And they're not even doing Roshan. Look at Roshan. It's
no,
like,
they're running back right now. They like, oh crap, we screwed
and
up
Vanscore
here,
will
guys.
happily trade his life right now. If they can get half of Rex, I'm sure they'll happily trade. Or
They might get 19 as well. Vanscore should be going down. The TP out by 19 is successful. He's like grab away by the Tevo. Vanscore's like, wait!
Please.
And now the Roche. They're in the pit. They're going to do it in time. Nyx will arrive now. Maybe you can actually just take that Aegis away instantly. They need to actually stun him up. It'll be nap time for the Bristleback. And HellRaisers running around like headless chickens here.
forZe just moving around the map so much better than HellRaisers right now.
All in all, in the end, I mean, they get the tower, they get the Aegis, and HellRaisers reads it completely wrong.
Yeah, like, you can't really... I don't think you can ever really commit that hard to Roshan when you know there's an Io Gyro alive to be able to move into bot lane. You have to push out your lanes properly and then take the fight or move into Roshan. The fact that you allow one lane to push in and then you think your Jakiro by himself can defend this, like, Jakiro can't stop a Gyro and an Io pushing a lane. Like, at best, it has to be Wyvern and Jakiro maybe together. To then you have to hope that you curse the Io with the Gyro hitting him. It's like, you have so many things that have to go right for you for your defense on HellRaisers. So, pushing out your lanes, then moving for the objectives is key.
Not enough, though. What +1 hero is definitely a kill, but Gilga, we're past that point.
Run, Gilga, run!
I'm gonna try and waste as much of their time as he can, but death is an inevitability.
He just bought a Bloodthorn.
Oh, the Vanscore's Io still dies, though. HellRaisers, they're very good at this, that waiting around where the Io came from. Just, you know, hopefully whenever they do this, it's not a case where someone's split pushing your base, similar to the Roche scenario, or you're going to be a few buildings short again. All of a sudden, forZe starting to pull ahead on the net worth chart a little bit. This Gyro is starting to come into its full fruition as it approaches the 20,000 net worth mark. And the Silver Age to counter out the Bristle is online as well.
We are slowly moving from the HellRaisers being very strong phase of the game to now the forZe coming a little bit more like in line with what they can do with their draft. Again, that's mainly down to forZe being able to push out the lanes and play the map due to the clunkiness of HellRaisers lineup and how they can punish, like they can basically rat with the Io Gyro. That's basically the easiest way of wording this. So
Nyx.
forZe using their one hard lockdown spell into Nyx. Doesn't prevail.
But when his curse, turn around on 19 team, gonna bring him down. He's gone for 75 seconds, and now you need to run. They completely ignore the Visage because they know that Aegis is in play. And as a result, 19 team is the easiest kill on the board. Keep trying to move away quickly.
Pickup was actually filthy.
It was ruthless.
So disgusting. This is the thing though with forZe. You're able to punish their movement, and it's about how you move around the map and get HellRaisers to like disconnect themselves as 5, and then from there you can then make your plays. You have to utilize the numbers game with the lack of stuns you have. When you try and go for just a pure fight with your coil, you're coiling the Bristleback. He's the tankiest guy on the map. You're playing next to an outpost into high ground, like a high ground with no vision as well. So it's like HellRaisers get the perfect fight and the perfect curse onto the Gyrocopter with the Bloodthorn reveal. It was, I think forZe didn't respect or didn't really truly know their damage output they had.
No, and now the question is, HellRaisers given enough respect? They refuse to leave, and Gyrocopter is up in 10 seconds. Nyx is like, no, there is enough time. The exit might not be figured out yet, is the question. The
Orb of Destruction as he punches his tower.
I mean, both teams
Bring
have
destruction to the Dire base.
He's like, you
But only
can't
one
complain
team's
about
hitting high ground
balance.
right now. No, yeah, this is technically balanced right now. Both teams have it. We're not. This is not in the question. It's just, oh, the Radiance one is being used.
And forZe, this is a wake-up call, okay? Your gyrocopter is your most important person right now. That fight, you know, if it's for example, a curse on a Visage in that fight previously, and the Visage dies, you still have a lot of damage. The birds can still help somewhat. But if the Gyro goes down, we just see how quickly forZe's damage falls apart.
It's the curse. It's the curse when there was two birds and the on top of the gyro as well, and then the Bloodborne. He just melts.
Most definitely.
Dire's middle tower is
He has to like pop Satanic pre-curse. Then when he gets cursed, he's gonna live.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like Aegis priority as well, right? Like maybe it's time to stop
Ah.
saying Visage needs this Aegis. Your Gyro can still die. You need to respect the fact that HellRaisers do still have means to kill you.
Radiant's top
I mean,
I can see that.
It's a bait we usually see, right? That where team baits themselves. They're like, oh yeah, I got Satanic, I got BKB. There's no way I can possibly die in this game, guys. And then 2 minutes later, when they're on your throne, you're going, what did I do? Where did it all go so wrong? Interesting that Chu is going for the Ags as opposed to the BKB. I've been seeing like there's a lot of discussion on this, right? Like guaranteed magic immunity versus potential.
I think it's always gonna have the same like uptime. You're gonna be able to just play into the fights with it. You're not gonna have cooldowns, right? Your cooldown's a lot lower on Spirit, so I think it's just a nice item to have. And then obviously you can still build the BKB later into the game if needed, but just provides you some type of presence.
I also love this ballsy play by Nyx. He's like, well, they couldn't kill me last time. BKB is nice this game, sure, but you know what's even nicer? Just getting right on top of a target. Gotta upgrade that Basher right now into the Abyssal, which is heading towards.
Yeah. I was thinking there'd be a point in the game where you might want a BKB, but then when you think about it, this Puck's like, it's a lot of physical damage, so BKB doesn't really do much. So yeah, go for it. Get kill potential and run at them.
That's the thing. I thought that after like he would have seen the Silver Edge, he would have been punished by it. He'd been like, damn, I need some way to deal with this because otherwise I'm dead. But when you've got a Wyvern that could even cold embrace you if it gets a bit risky and dicey and then just turns around on them because they're going to be piled up on top of you, who cares about magic immunity? I'd rather just hit things quicker and get in deeper.
It's not like you have to BKB any stuns off because all you get is coiled, so...
Yeah, BKB for him this game at the moment is a big shrug, and Puck's life is a big shrug.
I love... ooh.
I love that moment from Gilgaway. Just walks up stances and walks all the way away. It's like, okay, guys, I'll be back here in case they try to counter-initiate this.
Oh, look at... Yeah, Gilga's getting a bit, bit... I can't even talk. God damn it, what's happening to me?
He's too much of a cool guy. You can't handle it. That's what's happening.
Getting too big for his boots. There we go.
No, he's cool guys don't look at explosions, you know?
I see.
Don't,
I'm going to go put my teeth in, so I'll be back in a second.
Alright, Grandpa. Chu just getting that deep ward in because they know Roche could be up soon, and they want to make sure they have every piece of info they can to ensure that it goes into their hands. But with HellRaisers capturing this outpost, it's 10 times harder for you to try and contest it, because at this stage in the game, HellRaisers take Roche very quickly, actually. This Bristle packs a punch.
Yeah, he's scary. He's soon 25 as well. This forZe have they look just very disconnected and awkward in their team fights right now. Like you see in the last fight as well, like when they went on the Bristleback, it's like, yeah, they've never really put themselves in a position to take a true team fight. And I think that is two things really, again, like we've already mentioned. One, which is the lack of stuns, and two is they're not playing the map. Oh,
okay, that was so close. Look at all those deep wards from Radiant. They almost caught the most important kill there. Whew. Too close for comfort. I think they're done interrupting your point, though.
No, I was pretty much revising the idea that forZe needed to play the map through more push and play around the lack of ability that HellRaisers have through only the Void Spirit being the one that can move around freely. And they done it for a small bit of time, reference to maybe the Roshan when they went for bot and got the tier 3. But after that, they then went being very static, and this puck's been picked off one too many times, and it's put forZe in just a really awkward spot where they now need stuns to get them back into the game, or at least defend high ground. But HellRaisers have never moved to high ground yet, so we're still not even in that kind of comeback potential phase. And that,
Oh,
like I said,
BZZ. Well, it was
here
cute, but
comes
you
the
need to
puck
get out.
again. Yeah, this is what happens. He's trying to do what forZe need from him, but it's a little bit too late. He hasn't got the items or even the matchup. Like there's a voice
See
for v
anything.
puck. It's you're gonna die.
Yeah, the point here would be that the moves from BZZ, especially because he needs. It's not that like he's doing his job wrong. His job in this game is to do the dangerous split push. But the nature of how this has started to escalate is they're getting validation out of their death balling. It's not like this death ball is hit and miss. We only get a kill every 2 or 3 times. Every time they make these moves as 2-3 heroes, instantly someone is dying. And Puck is the type of hero that should never be dying in those scenarios when you're ahead in these games.
Yeah, or at least if he was pushing the lanes out in a deeper position, so maybe sitting behind the tier 2, tier 3 area, being really obnoxious, then maybe you're always forcing him to be super far back, but he's playing on his own side of the river doing it, so
So there's
it's,
instantly an objective in
yeah,
mind afterwards. Yeah.
exactly. Or not even that, it's just they can take control of jungle and force forZe back to their base. Just through this single mid push, every hero's back. There's no pressure in bot. Roshan's going to spawn soon. The HellRaisers own the map now.
And it's problematic because Jara is going to be forced to fight before he can get that sacred of items, that most sacred items he's looking towards, which is the divine rapier. Just
The
2,000
greatest
gold
comeback
off.
mechanic of all the game.
I like that teams are more engaging with it. They realize that it's not just instant loss of game. Sometimes it can
It's
be an
it's
instant
true
win.
strike. It's very cool.
Yeah. 19 team just trying to zone them away a little bit. Nick still hasn't reached 25 just yet. But it's tough. They'll get control of the outpost, so if this does turn into buybacks galore, they will have the advantage now. Roche is up. Question is, do you bat an eyelid? Do you back away here? Do you give ground? Do you try and wrap around, take that outpost back before you take a fight into forZe?
Who buckles first, really? They're gonna both just gonna sit here. No one cares. They could be like, "Do you want to come in the river?" No, no. All right, cool, nice. I'll stay here too. I don't mind waiting, lads. That's pretty much what's going on right now.
Looks like the ones to bat first are going to be HellRaisers. They move some heroes bot, and they might be found because of it. Kaysani hexed up, and it doesn't look like Omega Way. He's got the Yules now. Maybe he can just spam out to make his escape. There's the Simulate, and the dash away. Not successful, actually. As he ends up getting hit long range by the axe, I believe that was.
Yeah.
Reload.
Oh.
They see they're trying to take the outpost. They want to punish it. But instead, ET's dead too quick. They're going to chase through, but they need to be careful. They go too deep, they'll validate the buyback. And Gilga, Bonic shield to protect him. Dreamcall is down as well. He's going to get the Wind's Curse out. The BKB's been used. The buyback comes out from ET in the meantime. And Nyx just being ignored as he zones away the backline. And Poshka throws down that Macropie in the choke point, but it won't do any damage. 3 buybacks from HellRaisers. They absolutely must get this Roche now. And forZe don't really have much left in the chamber. They use the BKB. They use the big ultimates. And now Fanscore able to get away, or is he? The Abyssal in. Bristol says, here, chicken, chicken, come here. But instead, turned into a piggy himself. Turned around on quickly. And the Earth Splitter through. Nyx just evaporated. Dead for 100 seconds. He has got the buyback. Has to commit it because they are all in on this now. 19 team trying to chase forward. Can't bait himself too far, though. Funnick has got the borrowed time. They want to force it right out of him. They'll be able to do so. As he keeps on running away, the movement in. There's going to be the A for Remnant control. But they're not ready to re-engage just yet. Bristol's wrapping around the back, but he's spotted out and pinged. So Nyx will have to back out. And now they're chasing on him. They need to actually re-engage around the Bristol back and back him up.
Oh, the dieback on the
Dragon,
Wyvern.
19 team. The dieback does come out on the Wyvern. He said Nyx is going to go down as well. The dieback is there. And now this looks like it might just be over. The GG comes out instantly as forZe patiently causing missteps out of HellRaisers leads to a swift ending to this game at the 41-minute mark. After what looked like a very even game, this, in the bat of an eyelid, becomes one-sided and decided.
Yeah, this Roshan, it was who made the first move, and it was the Void Spirit getting picked off at the start of that fight, forcing it. Like his team was trying to rotate down maybe, and then they instantly got jumped within the river. Gilga out of position, getting hexed, him instantly dying. All of these fights, it's around Gilga and his positioning. Him getting the good curses off meant that the fight was in their favor. But as soon as the Void Spirit gets picked off, as soon as Gilga gets picked off, you then using buybacks, trying to TP back in, build up and boost your numbers in the fight. It's like forZe are already ready. They don't need to have stuns when Radiant are running away. So yeah, HellRaisers just played a a pretty decent game up until that last fight in which their positioning just absolutely crumbled and their lineup. You can't make mistakes because you're the guys that you need to win the mid to early mid game, and when you're nearing the end of that mid game, transitioning into kind of forZe's territory, you make one mistake like this, boom, all your buybacks, diebacks, game's over. Sorry, thanks for playing, but game 3.
A fragile draft, a fragile game state. As you say, game 3 will be required, and it comes down to the line. Of course, whoever loses this isn't eliminated. It just means they'll have to go for that lower bracket at the start tomorrow, and the other team gets the rest in waiting for that best of 3 grand finals. Short break, and then we'll reconvene to decide who is going to be the first grand finalist. Stay tuned.